You can't complete everything, you can't know everything, but you can definitely touch upon a lot of topics, and you will only know about new topics when you go deep into one topic. Like you take up one topic, you go deep into it, and you get another topic from there.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are watching this video. Today we have a very special guest, Urmi Saha. She is data and applied scientist at Microsoft. Welcome, Urmi.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm good. I hope I'll be able to help some people with whatever
Yeah,
experience
so
I have.
yes. Can you please tell us right from the very beginning what are your experiences about the placements?
From the very beginning, as in you want the preparation part also, or just the placement?
Maybe preparation part will be also helpful.
Yeah.
The resources from where you studied.
Right. Yeah, I'll just skim through it. I mean, if you want more details, you can just ask me. You can stop me and ask me anywhere. So basically, my target was a data scientist post. So I really wanted to crack a data scientist post, but it's not a good thing to be overconfident. And you can't just make sure that you will get the data scientist post only. It might happen that you get some other roles also. So it's a lot of luck. Placements is a lot of, it's about luck, and it's also about hard work. So we can't do anything about luck. We can definitely we can put in our maximum efforts for the hard work part. What I did was I used to spend every day on data science. I mean, some part of the day, maybe during night or maybe in the morning itself. Again, keeping that aside, I also used to code every day. I mean, starting from maybe October, my placements was in December. So before that also, I started my coding practices in July. So from July, I was doing some kinds of all those topics which I was not well versed with, like dynamic programming, graph theory, which I had to learn from scratch. I knew a little bit of coding from before. I mean, during my BTech times, I did a little bit of coding, but that was mostly strings, arrays, and all these things. Dynamic programming, graph theory, all these things were not done during that time. I mean, I didn't do it. And from October, I made sure, because October we have our examination, one master's thesis examination. After that, I made sure that every day I at least solved 2 coding questions, at least. From Geeks for Geeks, I followed Geeks for Geeks, and also I followed InterviewBit. Everybody will go through InterviewBit, LeetCode, and everything while placements preparation. But it's always beneficial to stick to 1 or 2 platforms religiously, and also you can explore other platforms also, and you will definitely find 1 or 2 which suit you best. So for me, it was InterviewBit and Geeks for Geeks. So in InterviewBit, there are like buckets of different algorithms. So I used to pick up one bucket and do some questions from there and complete one bucket entirely. And then I took up the second bucket, like after strings, then I took up arrays. And I did graph from HackerRank. Somehow I found those questions very interesting and completed the HackerRank category of graph theory. So I didn't do graph from InterviewBit. So it's different for everybody. I mean, what I have followed, it's not at all necessary or not at all correct for somebody to follow exactly like that. It's basically whatever suits a person best, that will work for you also best. Okay. The first point that I will try to say is, please find your suitable way of coding practice. And if you are also trying for some other role, as I was trying for data scientist, be very honest to that effort. Like every day you should know that you will have to find some time out for preparation for that role also. So no matter how late I am, like maybe it's 12 a.m., 1 a.m. at night, still I know that I will at least give 1 or 2 hours before I sleep, so that this day doesn't pass without the data science part, some knowledge, some revision, anything. And I used to make notes also. And also, how did I start? I started off with the projects I did. So that was I don't know why I started like that, but it worked for me. I started off with the projects in my college. And from those projects, I found some keywords which I wanted to know more about. Like, okay, in this project, in this code, there is some bias or some variance happening. So I went on to read more about it, and then I got that part covered. So that was my way of covering everything that was there in my resume. You'll have to have a thorough preparation with whatever you have written in your resume. So that was one key point which I followed. And apart from that, many blogs helped, because books and all, definitely they are good. But when you need to grasp something in a very small amount of time, blogs, the animations they show there, and some YouTube videos, like obviously I'm pretty sure people will talk about this. I mean, Andrew Ng YouTube videos, they are very, very helpful. Yeah. And there are like, I think 10 minutes video each of 120 videos in a playlist, something like that.
Yeah.
So if I just went through all of them, and that was a thorough brush up. Like everything was just brushed up. Apart from that, it was just consistency, I would say. I mean, consistency is something which you'll have to maintain. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're doing 6 questions today, you'll have to do 2 questions tomorrow. Even if you're doing 20 questions today, you can't skip 2 questions tomorrow. So no matter what, you cannot skip a single day. At least you know that from the last 2 months before your placements, you have to work very diligently. Very, very diligently. So there you can't just find any shortcut.
You told that every day, few concepts of data science and at least 2 coding questions, right? So yeah. you were doing like this. So there was no day you don't feel like studying and today it will be a break.
You know, it's very difficult to think like that, because I don't know about this year, but when you are sitting in a lab or when you are in such an environment where everybody around is preparing for placements, I mean, you
feel insecure.
Yeah. I mean, if you go for an off day, I think you'll be like, no, I need to go back and do something. It will be disturbing that, okay, I mean, what am I doing? I mean, whom will you enjoy with? Like everybody around you, everybody is studying, everybody is preparing. I mean, the environment, the ambience will be like that. But yes, it doesn't mean that there is no single day where I haven't spent like 12 hours studying. It's not like that. Definitely there were days when we had to go out. I mean, even for placement purposes, maybe we had to go out for shopping for placement suits and everything. So we planned our dinner outside and we enjoyed our day. We knew that we have to go outside. So why not just enjoy and come back? So yeah, we studied a little bit. I mean, maybe for 2 hours, and then we went out, and after coming back, we just slept early. That tomorrow we will just make it up. So it's like that. So hostel life is better, I will definitely say. And people will have to put in a little more efforts this year maybe. But it's okay. It's done. I mean, it will be done this year also, I'm sure.
Things will happen. Let's talk about the rounds. How was your rounds?
Okay, so for Microsoft, there's one written round for the software, I mean SDE role, and one written round for the ML role, I mean data scientist role. And after the written round, there is one group fly round also, where you have to sit and write. Some questions will be given then and there. You have to solve it then.
Write on pen and paper, and you have to submit it.
Yes, and after that, I mean, the interviews begin on the main interview days. So
before going to round 1, let's talk about the written rounds.
Yeah. So the written round, I will only be able to help you with one SD and one data science. It was a very unique case, I think, for me, because the SD. First, I'll talk about SD. In the written round SD, there were like 3 questions. The questions were doable. They were not at all difficult. But you need to be a little bit careful, because there are some corner cases which might not pass. So for that, you'll have to make some, you'll have to take long instead of int, something like that. But yes, there was some kind of platform issue also during our time. And because of that, some people had some problem passing all the test cases. But the questions were easy. I don't remember the questions exactly. Questions were doable. I mean, 2 I remember were doable. 1 I found a little bit difficult. I found it difficult during that point of time, because it's again a little bit of luck also, whether your mind, I mean, that solution is just clicked, then it's fine. And if it doesn't, then
Questions are difficult till the time you are in the examination hall.
Yeah. So some people did crack it, but I found that question difficult at that point of time. But when I got the solution, I just thought that, okay, I just needed to think in that line. If I had thought in that line, it would have been easy maybe. So I will say the questions were not very difficult. It's doable. I mean, at least 2 out of 3 questions are doable. This is the SDE round, and the ML round, the data science round, had 60 questions, I think, 60 MCQ questions. MCQ
Okay.
questions.
Time limit?
Time limit was 1 hour, 1 hour or 2 hours.
1 hour, 1 minute.
I don't
minute,
remember.
question.
I don't even remember whether there were 60 questions or not. Anyway, you will get this data from somewhere else maybe.
It's okay.
Yeah. But yeah, the questions were from statistics, the questions were from distributions, some basic ML concepts like bias, variance, and all these things. And yeah, somebody who has got amount of basic ML knowledge, you can try. I mean, I don't know whether MCQ questions will be, I mean, how can you just define the standard of MCQ questions? Because there are questions which were absolutely, I had no idea of, like, I mean, what is this? I just skipped. And some questions were like, I mean, okay, this is...
They were negative marking also?
Okay, so negative marking was not there in our time, but negative marking was there in the previous year. So
okay.
That was a very bad mistake I made. I'll come to it. I mean, for that, what happened, I'll come to it later on. But the mistake I made was I was very sure that there was negative marking, because every year there is, and I did not mark for like 20 questions. So yeah, but yeah, so later on, and I was concentrating like anything. That was my mistake, I know. But anyhow, after the exam was over, after I closed my laptop, then I saw that in the blackboard it was written there's no negative marking. So anyways, so yeah, so that depends. That keeps changing. That's the main point. So you need to be very careful. For preparation, I'll say just brush up your ML fundamentals. That's it.
Entire MCQs are based on ML only. No DL, no RL.
No, DL was there. RL was not there. RL was absolutely not there as far as I remember. DL was there. There was deep learning.
Computer vision?
No. There was no computer vision. Maybe one question, maybe, but I don't think there was. I'm not very sure. NLP, I don't think so. No. NLP was also not there, as far as I remember. But it doesn't mean it can't be included next year.
What was the CG cutoff for this role, ML role?
CPI cutoff was not much. These companies do not really put any CPI cutoff, because anyhow they filter through the written rounds now. So they actually let anybody just sit for the written rounds and clear them. So, and that's actually preferable also. I mean, from the college point of view also, I mean, they try to convince them that do not put any CPI. Anyhow, you will be filtering based on your first round, right? So, yeah. So maybe there was 7 or something, but it might happen that there was no CPI cutoff. I don't remember exactly.
7 is manageable, I guess.
Yeah.
So what about round 1? First of all, when you get the result of your written, then you felt relaxed that
okay, so the results
I did the mistake, but I am through.
No, I'll tell you what happened. The results did not say which round I qualified for. It just came up with a list of names that these are the people who will be coming tomorrow for group flight. And we have no clue whether we have been selected for software or for ML or for both. We don't know, right?
Okay.
So,
and you have to give both the coding round for SD also, and you have to give MCQ rounds for ML, or I can choose.
No.
Okay, I don't want to go for SD. I only give this.
You can choose, but I applied for both, right? Okay. Since I applied for both, I did not know, I mean, which exam I am qualified to the next round. So my name came up, but I did not know, I mean, which exam was good. But later on, I found out that I had qualified the SDE round. So yeah, so the DS was not through. And I don't know, maybe those 20 questions was the culprit. I don't know what, but the DS was not through. The group fly was SDE for me. There we had like 3 more questions. One was very easy. One was doable. Second one was just pure logic, which you had to think about. I mean, there was
implementation.
Just implementation. And another one was from tree, and it was difficult. I will definitely say it was difficult. I think 2. There were 2 only. I don't remember any third question. So there were 2. The second question was difficult. I still don't know the perfect solution to that question. So that was the second round. And
now there is no need to know.
Oh, that's not the point. I mean, there is maybe, but yeah, but that was not a very common question. I mean, it's not that you have seen this question in Geeks for Geeks or somewhere and you have forgotten the solution or what the algorithm was. It was kind of new, but the round also takes into consideration how you are performing. So for those who are qualifying the first round of Microsoft and sitting for the second round, it's very important that you talk to the people who are there. There will be multiple invigilators. I'm not, again not sure for this year, but there are generally lots of people just roaming around in the room. So whatever you have thought about, whatever you are writing or thinking about, before writing the code, you just reach out to anybody and tell him or her that this is what I'm thinking, and that person will actually guide you. That person will tell you whether you are thinking in the right line, whether you should think a little different from what you are thinking right now. That's kind of guidance, and he or she will also be noticing your way of approach, even if you can't code the entire thing. I mean, your approach, your methods, how your mind is working, that is also very important for that round.
Thought process, yes.
Yes. So sitting idle or writing, wait, the solution, the entire solution, you just think about completing the entire solution. That might not work for this round. This is very different. So it's better that if Groupfly is happening, I don't know how it will happen this year, but it's very, very important to communicate. After that, there were the interviews. Yeah. So the Groupfly was cleared. I mean, my SD cleared for Groupfly, and then I went up for my SD interview on the interview.
Okay, so how this data scientist happened? Okay, we'll find it out. So how was your round one?
Yeah, so the first round, it was SD. So I went in with my resume, and the interviewer just saw my resume and he said that, okay, this is totally ML. I can't ask anything from your resume. So he just kept it aside and he asked some SD questions. Those were easy questions. Like one first question was easy. It was a tree question. That was doable. I mean, I did it. I wrote the code and it was done. And the second question was a data structure question about big integer, storage of big integer. I mean, a little in depth, like how will you use it? I mean, linked list or what? I mean, how would you implement such a data type on this level? So that round was done. I mean, that took like 45-50 minutes.
Have you studied about this question before? Storage of big integers?
No, absolutely not. Because I mean, I did not go that deep into DS also. Like I was preparing for DS in normal level. Like it's okay. I mean, the questions which are common, I know them like this. But yes, I mean, you are studying computer science for so many years, right? So some kind of common knowledge is there inside. So I used up all my common knowledge of computer science, what I had, and it kind of worked. I mean, it did. I hope it did. I think it did. So, because it's not that you get to understand whether you have given the right answer or not. Sometimes you do not even complete the entire answer. The thought process only works. That was my first round. After that, for the second round, with my resume, I was asked to go to an interview which was for ML, for DS. Since the resume was purely on DS, my second round was on DS. So that round had a lot of interesting questions, like from my resume, from my projects, the projects I have done. Also, there were deep learning questions. There were basic ML questions, like SVM questions, and some problem statements also, some very fake news detection type. I mean, how any idea? I mean, how would you suggest a fake news detection system should be designed? Mm-hmm. There was kind of a discussion. There was no question answer kind of thing. There was purely discussion. We were discussing about we can do this, we can do that. That continued for again like 45-50 minutes. And that round I was guessing that it was good because the interviewer was happily showing me, telling me about the work. And he was asking me if I get a chance, then where would I like to work? In which domain would I like to work? So these kinds of information was, exchanged. So after the second round was done, so I was sent to the third round, and that was my final round. So that was, okay, I think, by the hiring manager. I am not very sure. Whether he is called hiring manager or not. In the final round, it was again a discussion. A long discussion, and it was again real life problem sort of situations were given. Like, how would you design a question from an answer? I mean, a system which will come up with a question given the answer. So these kinds of questions. So it was also based purely on discussion. We were discussing this can be done, that can be done. And it also continued for like 45, 50 minutes. And then he asked, I mean, if you have any questions. And then I asked what are the works going on, and if I get to work, whether if I can work anywhere which matches from one of the works I've done, that's written in the resume. So yeah, he said that he will, I mean, try to map to something relevant. So it was fine.
You had any idea that you are going to place, or they are looking for data science role and not for SD role?
Yeah, that was data science. Yeah, that I knew. From the second round also, I knew it was a data science round, and I was very happy, and I wanted to give it my best shot because I had no idea that I'll get this chance, and that is luck. That's why I said that it's
maybe it is due to your interviewer in first round.
I don't know. I mean, the resume, I think, convinced them. The resume was purely ML. My resume was purely ML. So maybe, I mean, they just wanted to give it a shot. So, and anyhow, I was waiting for my second round. So in that waiting time, I went for the first round for a DS profile. And from there, I was put in that line only. So that's my luck that I was not sent back to SD, or I was not rejected from both. So yeah, the final round was also discussion, and that I knew that the final round is also DS. So if I get through this, then I'll be getting the DS profile. That I understood at that point of time. But yes, there were no high hopes, obviously. But yeah.
And you cracked it.
Yeah, and after that, yeah, because Microsoft, they give out some goodies or something, so you get to know that you have been selected. Yeah.
I think that is it for the interview experience part. So now we usually have this rapid fire round where we talk informally with all our speakers to know them better. So can we start? So I will advise you to answer in one word or one phrase as soon as possible.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just say skip if I can't.
No, you can't skip.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
So my first question is, what are those 3 qualities which you have, which helped you to get yourself where you are today?
Hard work, perseverance, discipline.
Okay. My next question is,
by discipline, I would like to add the discipline of the routine. I mean, I was very, rigid on it, that I'll be a disciplined.
You're very punctual on it. Yeah.
Student for those 2 months, for those couple of months. And then I have my time to do anything I want.
Only for those 2 months.
Yeah, that was very important.
Okay. My next question would be, if you can travel back in time and meet Urmi, who is about to join first year undergrad, what is success according to her, and what is success according to you today?
I don't think it has changed.
Okay.
Back then also, success was about getting something where you are just happy. If you are happy, then you are successful, I think. And your definition of happiness, my definition of happiness did not change with any name or brand or anything. It's about what I wanted. Because in my undergrad also, I wanted to crack a data science company. And in my postgrad also, I wanted to crack a data science company. And I think no matter what the brand is, no matter what the CTC was, it's about whether I could crack a data science job or not. It doesn't mean that had I got a SD job, I wouldn't have been happy. I would have been happy, but this is something which I feel that, okay, this was my ultimate success. I'm happy that I'm successful on this front.
Yeah. Next question would be, let's say if a movie is made on your life.
Okay.
What genre would it be?
Genre?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Comedy, thriller, action, inspiration.
It will be a very normal, happy story with struggles, with, craziness, with fun, with plus I mean, it's a normal life, but it has got a lot of components in it. So it'll be an interesting one, I suppose. It'll be quite an interesting one.
Right. My last question would be, what is your one hidden talent?
Hidden talent.
Everyone have, right?
I don't know whether I can call it talent or not, but
Let's decide today. We can call it or not.
I mean, it's not hidden, first of all, because I have learned dancing for like I'm a trained classical dancer, and I love to dance. Like I just love to dance. Even in lockdown, I'm dancing and putting up my videos in YouTube channel with another friend of mine.
In the end, what are your few tips if you want to give to students who are preparing for placements or data science profile?
For data science profile, I'll say that do study, keep studying. I mean, because for any profile, it's important. For data science, I'll say because that's what I did. Because you can't ever complete everything. You can't know everything, but you can definitely touch upon a lot of topics, and you will only know about new topics when you go deep into one topic. Like you take up one topic, you go deep into it, and you get another topic from there, and you start with that. So, I mean, one very important suggestion maybe I would like to say that do not go too deep in one so that all your time is wasted there. Because like I'll give you an example. I started studying boosting, right? So for boosting, there are a lot of techniques like AdaBoost and XGBoost, all these things. I felt for a while that let's know what AdaBoost is, what XGBoost is, and let's go deep into it. But somehow, thankfully, I understood that, okay, there's no point in understanding each and every one of them in so much of detail right now. Instead, you should know where to stop. That's very important when you have a limited amount of time and you have a huge syllabus to cover. So you should know how much you should explore. I mean, BFS is better than DFS, I think, in this case. Just to spread your branches, you've covered up all the topics. Some topics you will understand is very relevant to your work. I mean, whatever you have done in your 3 years, 2 years course, and whatever is very relevant to the projects you have done, definitely go deep into them, know about them. But for rest, do have an idea so that whenever you are asked any question, you do not say that I haven't heard about it ever, but this is what I know. Because the person who is there on the other side, he also knows that you can't know everything. Just be honest that I know this much. This is what happened, this much I know. And that helps. That does.
Yeah.
That is something for ML. And other than that, just be consistent. I mean, be diligent and just be a matter of... be disciplined, and just a matter of few weeks actually, and after that you'll be free to enjoy your life for the last few months of your college life maybe. So it's worth it.
It's kind of paradox, right? Right from the class 10th we are listening this. Just do this and you're free for your life. And it never ends.
No, not for... I didn't say for life. I just said that if you just give 2 months of full dedication into this preparation, it will be all worth it. Like, struggle will never end, right? But it will be worth it. I'm pretty sure. Like, after the placements, those few months in the final semester, when you know you have a job, and the most important part, when I did not have my interviews also, I used to tell my seniors that I'm very happy that I studied so much, because I wouldn't have ever acquired this amount of knowledge had it not been for placements. So that's a very, nice feel maybe which I got. I didn't know where I'll be placed. I didn't know what's going to happen, when I will get placed. But I knew that I have known a lot of stuff which I did not know just 2 months back. So that's something you really feel good about later on. And then you get to do these kinds of things, tell others.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was really insightful discussion with you today. And I hope people are very, very, very inspired by listening this interview. Thank you so much. Yeah. And it was a pleasure to have you tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time too. So this channel has got a lot of useful content for everybody out there who is trying to do something different from just academics, along with academical help also. So do like, share and subscribe this channel with your friends who will also be surely benefited from the contents of this channel.